You're scrolling before bed. Blue light on your face. One more video, you tell yourself, then sleep. You're the only kind of human doing that right now. For most of history, that wasn't true. Other humans existed. All of them are gone now. And nobody fully agrees on why. Here's why that question matters. This isn't ancient trivia. It's the story of how your species won a competition it didn't know it was in. Start with the strangest case. On the Indonesian island of Flores, tiny humans lived for over 1 million years. Scientists call them Homo floresiensis. Everyone else calls them hobbits. Adults stood about 3.5 feet tall. Small brains, big feet, real stone tools. They hunted pygmy elephants called stegodon. Then, around 50,000 years ago, they vanished. For decades. Nobody knew why. A study published in late 2025, led by geologist Mike Gagan at the University of Wollongong, found the answer buried in cave stone and elephant teeth. A severe drought hit Flores, starting around 61,000 years ago. Rivers ran dry. The elephants the hobbits depended on vanished with the water. So did the hobbits, not long after. Here's the thing. Your instinct is probably to blame us. Modern humans show up, another human species disappears. Case closed. Turns out it's not that simple here. There's no solid evidence modern humans had even reached that part of Flores yet. Climate got there first. We might not be the villain in this one at all. But that let humans off the hook story doesn't hold everywhere. Let's talk about the Neanderthals. They weren't primitive. They survived brutal ice ages across Europe and Western Asia for roughly 400,000 years. That's longer than our species has existed. Then, about 40,000 years ago, they were gone too. So if the hobbits went out slow, from drought, what happened to the Neanderthals? You'd expect one clean answer. You won't get one. In 2021, researchers surveyed over 200 paleoanthropologists and published the results in scientific reports. The closest thing to a consensus? Demographics. Neanderthal groups were small and scattered. Small populations are fragile. A 2024 genome study from the University of Copenhagen's Globe Institute on Neanderthal remains from a cave in southern France found exactly that pattern. Generations of close inbreeding, quietly hollowing the population from the inside. Other researchers point somewhere else entirely. A Stanford-led study, published in Nature Communications, modeled something colder: disease. When modern humans arrived from Africa, they likely brought illnesses Neanderthal immune systems had never encountered. Not one plague. A slow bleed, generation after generation. Here's where it gets interesting. Neither theory alone explains the timing perfectly. Neanderthal extinction lines up closely with modern humans expanding across Europe. That's not proof we caused it directly. Correlation isn't causation. But it's a pattern too consistent to fully dismiss. Now here's the part that should really mess with your sense of self. You're probably carrying their DNA right now. If your ancestry traces outside Africa, roughly 1 to 2% of your genome is Neanderthal. Not symbolically, literally sitting in your cells. There's also a third human species in this story, the Denisovans, known mostly from Dina and a few bone fragments found in Siberia. Some Pacific Islander populations carry up to 4 to 6% Denisovan Dina today. So extinction isn't fully accurate. These species didn't just disappear. Some of them married into us. Their genes are still doing jobs inside living human bodies, generations later. That reframes the whole question. It's not why did we outcompete every other human. It's closer to why did modern humans absorb, outlast, and outnumber every close relative until we were the only visible branch left? One more piece completes the picture, and it's about us specifically. Around 74,000 years ago, the Toba supervolcano erupted in Sumatra, the largest eruption in over 2 million years. For decades, the leading theory said it nearly wiped out humanity too, crashing our population under 10,000 people. Genetic bottlenecks in modern DNA seem to support it. But newer archaeological work, tracing microscopic volcanic glass across Africa and Asia, tells a stranger story. Human tool-making sites kept being used right through the eruption. Whatever Toba did to global climate, our ancestors barely seem to have blinked. Whether Toba actually caused that genetic bottleneck is now genuinely disputed among researchers. So maybe that's the real pattern. Not that humans were smarter, or destined, or somehow chosen. Just relentlessly, annoyingly adaptable. Drought hit the hobbits, and their whole food chain collapsed with them. A supervolcano hit us, and multiple human groups kept making tools through it. Neanderthals thrived in ice for 400,000 years, then lost a slow numbers game the moment conditions shifted. The leading idea researchers keep circling back to isn't raw intelligence. It's flexibility. The ability to shift diet, tools, and social groups fast enough to outrun collapse, wherever it came from. Every other human species eventually hit a wall it couldn't out-adapt. We haven't yet. Which brings you back to that phone in your hand. Scrolling, adjusting, endlessly reorganizing your habits around whatever the week throws at you. That instinct isn't a modern flaw. It's the oldest trick your species has. It's the same trick that outlasted droughts, ice ages, and a volcano that darkened the sky for years. If you had to bet on the real reason we're the last one standing, drop it in the comments. I read all of them. You're still here. That was never guaranteed.